this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do a quick flip through of this journal here. We've done some of this together and some of it, you know, not together. So yeah, it will be familiar to you if you watch my channel, or it may be familiar to you. Oops, not meant to be on this one. Doesn't go with the theme at all. So it's a chunky journal. It's a soft cover. You know, they're my favorite kind of journals to make. Actually, ring bound are probably my favorite, but yeah, these are a close second. Yeah, and it's secured with a double ribbon at the edge. If you saw the video where we decorated the cover, the ribbon is secured here underneath the topper. So it's decorated with this gorgeous upholstery fabric, and then it's got some lace kind of going over the top there. And then it's obviously got the topper, you've got a little gem hanging, you've got lace, flowers, all sorts of things, lots of lace and things on the cover. And then, like I say, it's bound with a ribbon. If you didn't like the ribbon closure, you could probably snip it off kind of close to the, you know, close to there. And then, you know, you wouldn't have the ribbon closure on there. So going inside the journal. Now, this is a very fun journal. It's predominantly kind of black and... yeah, black and brown kind of theme. So very vintage kind of feeling, and it has got quite a few vintage pieces in it. So on the inside of the front cover, we've got just a collage of pieces here, and then we've got just a fold out piece. Now this is from some vintage, trying to think what it was. I think it was like a sort of vintage note card. Which have obviously, you know, inked up and things. And then I've glued on the top of it a vintage wine label. And then a stamped image there and some lace. And then just tied it around with some string. So super pretty piece there. And obviously, you know, is from vintage ephemera. And then tucked into the side, whoops, I've got one of those, oh, what do you call it? Sewing pattern paper. Now this is a journal card. So all it is literally sewing pattern paper, stuck on to a couple of layers of card, coffee dyed card. So it's kind of a layered up book page card, an image there from a vintage book and some lace. So yeah, really nice kind of simple journal card there. So that goes in there. Here we've got a doubled over pocket, and tucked in there you've got an altered bag. This is just a, you know, see-through bag. I think it was from some packaging. So of course you could put something in there. I haven't, but you definitely could. In fact, I will just pop in, just, you know, so it's got something in it. I'm just going to pop in a ticket. Oops. Just so it's got something in the bag. There we go. So that pops into there, and it's nice because you've got that nice sound obviously from the bag. And then tucked in behind there you've got a big sort of journal card. The back is not coffee dyed, so you know, whoever buys it may want to do that, or gesso over it. It's just plain white at the moment. And then this here, that tucks in there. You've got some lace trim on the edge. And then here we've got just a foldy flip down with obviously extra journal space here. That's from some coffee dyed paper. Then you've got more of that, actually this may be tea bag. Yep, I can't remember honestly what I did in this. I can't actually even remember, would you believe, when I made this. It is quite recent, but yeah, I just have got a complete memory fog as to when this was made. Anyway, a fold down flip. This is some collage masterboard. A lot of the pieces were made previously. So the collage masterboard I made some time back, but the actual journal itself I actually only put together, you know, much more recently, in the last few, you know, couple of months. But yeah, I can't really remember making it, to be honest. And then we've got a little flippy pad here, just with some bits of coffee dyed paper, some lace at the top and some bling. That just goes in there. You've got lace here with some bling. And then here we've got just a belly band piece with a journal card there. Tucks in, and you've got just some lace on the edge of the page and some lace here and bling. Here you've got one of those altered playing cards and just a little, you know, label-y type piece tucked in there. Just get that off. You've got some stamped images and some lace trim here. Then you've got some plain pages for journalings. They've just got details like lace, and that's got just a little label like that. And then here, this is a pocket made from a Oh, for some reason that's not stuck down. Let me just quickly stick this down. Okay, right. So this pocket is made from some vintage document, which I made into an envelope, and it's actually glued on like a pocket. So just checking that it is glued on there. Yeah, it is glued on there. So you've got the flap here forming a pocket. You've got a large journal card there. This is an image from a vintage book. That goes in like that. You've got bling and lace. And then here you've got the rest of the envelope from the actual vintage document. So you've got an image here that I think is from, I think, my spring Victorian gallery, I think. And that's just popped onto the envelope. Oh, sorry if you can hear the dog kind of growling, letting me know she's here. And then that opens, and again, you've just got some more detail here. You've got a vintage cigarette card and some lace trim and things. Sorry, the bits that I keep picking off, they're hot glue threads. So, yeah. Another big journal card there. Again, it's just ivory on the back. So, you know, up to you really whether you would want to, you know, coffee dye that. But, you know, you could, or you don't have to. And it's got some genuine vintage ephemera and pieces on there. So that goes in there. And then you've just got some vintage book page here with a stamped image and some lace. So that's like that. I'm just checking that this is glued down like that. Right. Then here, this is one of those pockets which Ruby and Pearl made some of these, and I had a go at these. They were really fun to make. So it's lots of genuine vintage ephemera here, and also this is one of my Victorian ephemera digis, but printed in black and white. So yeah, I thought that was quite fun. And some lace trim down the edge. And then here, this is again some genuine vintage ephemera. Just a sort of portion there, and that folds up and then folded over at the end, which then keeps it from, you know, A, sticking up, but B, you know, if it were shorter, from sliding in. So that one. And then on here you've got a large pocket here and some collage masterboard, and then tucked in the top you've just got some of these craft papers. These are available on my website, my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. And then you've got a little flippy pad. Again, you've got some vellum here with the photograph, some genuine vintage sheet music, and some vintage wine label as well. So, and that's just stapled across the top. I didn't even put any lace on there, to be honest, because I actually don't think that that looks offensive or anything else with the staples. You've got some stamped corners, you've got plain page here, plain page there, some vintage documents here, and some coffee dyed doily here, a bit of a stamped image there, stamped corners. And then here you've got another sort of belly band from a collage masterboard, and then you've got a flippy out with a couple of sheets, or not sheets, but a couple of sides of coffee dyed paper, and that just tucks under the butterfly wings. That's how that kind of stays closed. And then tucked in the side, this is one of those massive journal cards. Now, I will just say, this was, I'm trying to think what it was, whether it was, I can't remember whether this was messing about with alcohol inks or paints, one or the other. And this is some of that photographic paper. So on the back is shiny, glossy kind of photographic paper. So again, it's not been coffee dyed, but also it has got some mess on there from the paint that it picked up during the process. So again, I just want to point that out. Love this tab here with the vellum just stapled on. And then we've just got a couple of bits all layered up. So yeah, absolutely love that journal card. Actually, I'm surprised that I've put it in here and not wanting to hoard it. Then here we've got a little envelope. We've got some of that gorgeous paper ruffle that I'd received in a happy mail from the lovely Mary Ann. And then here we've got a large journal card. Again, it's ivory on the back. I love that envelope so much. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? And that's got one of those altered index cards, which is a vintage index card. And then tucked in here, we've just got a little foldy out, and it's a trifold. So again, lots of room for journaling on there. Just some lace down the edge and a stamped image. That just goes in there. Room for journaling on this page. And then here, this is the center of the signature. You've got an envelope, so it's undecorated on this side, but you've just got some stamped corners. And then tucked into there is a sort of mock file folder made from some vintage book page there. This is some bits from my beauty fair kit, and then some lace trim down the side, and then just a couple of sheets in there for journaling. So love how that looks. In fact, I made that a really long time ago, and I have been, hoarding it. Ridiculous. Then on this side of the envelope, we've got a pocket from an envelope with, again, just another one of those kind of gathered pieces. So these are from my London collection papers, and then you've got just a little vellum piece as well. They're just stapled in the corner, and they just all tuck in like that. I'm just wondering whether that's, oh no, I couldn't remember whether that was an envelope pocket at the top as well. It's not. No, that's the only pocket. Then here we've got a paper clip holding this closed. So altered paper clip, just one of those kind of banner style paper clips. Oh, it's getting a bit caught up on the lace. Oh dear, I did not factor that in when I put that envelope on. Oh no, now I've bent it round. Oh dear. Right, okay. So yes, you need to be careful when you obviously put the envelope, put the paper clip in and out, because that lace does wrap around here, which I had not really remembered that. So yeah, just be kind of careful, or alternatively, you know, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really even need the paper clip on there. It's holding closed anyway. I just thought it looked pretty. You've got a vintage postage stamp, that gorgeous image of the hot air balloon, and then just a few pages here, some tracing paper, and then a vintage wine label. And then here you've got a little pocket in the back where, again, you've just got some genuine vintage paperwork there. So that just goes into that. Obviously, this is a paper bag. It has got a small tear there. That's how it was. You know, I haven't torn that, unbelievably. It wasn't me. But yeah, that's how it was. So like that. Then you've got some lace trim down the side. This side, you've got a pocket here with an image from a vintage book, and then some lace trim and this lovely lace bow. And then here we've got, this is one of those altered, you know, vintage postcards. So it's a genuine vintage postcard, altered on that awful slow stitching collaboration. The collaboration was great. The I was going to say slow stitching. It wasn't slow stitching. It was fast flow stitching. Quite the opposite to slow stitching. Yeah, the collaboration was great. My version of the fast flow stitching, not so great. So yeah, that's one of those. So you've just got fabric on this side, a little label and some bits here. And of course you could then journal on there. So yeah, looks nice. And then we've just got some stamped corners, and then obviously the rest of that doily, the rest of that vintage document with a stamped image. Then this, I absolutely love how this looks. So this is that gorgeous dragonfly stamp, just stamped onto some vintage book page, but stamped and embossed. And then I've got just a label stamp there, which I'd stamped and then glued onto the page. Again, these two stamps, so the label sets and the vintage dragonfly, they should be available on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. So if you like the look of those, then they should be on there. And then we've got blank pages there for journaling, a little stamped image down there. And again, actually, these stamps also are available on there. And then here we've got one of those lace belly bands, absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? With loads of different laces and things and some bling. And then just tucked into there, this is just a journal card. It's made using just some vintage file folder and some vintage book page, and then just various images layered up. Just really super pretty, but very, very, very simple. Stamped corner down there, and then we've got lace trim here, and another one of those little flippy kind of items, but this time I've put it on landscape instead of kind of portrait, you know, which would be the natural lean-in. You know, I certainly would find it the natural lean-in. I've put this on portrait, and it's kind of then quite an interesting feature, I think, across the page. And then you've just got some lace there, and then a stamped image here, which has been stamped onto some vintage book page, and then it's been heat embossed with the Tim Holtz, you know, the glaze, what do you call it, embossing glaze. Then we've got a large pocket here, and tucked into that pocket some vintage book page. That just goes in there like that. And then tucked into the side, we've just got some little bits of ephemera there, and they're just held together with a little brad, so you know they can slide out or you know kind of fold up however you want to use them. And then you've just got some lace down here, and then on this page we've got one of those diagonal pockets, so you've got a pocket in the side, again a journal card there, again it is just ivory on the back, but I love the fact that they're these massive journal cards. They're really nice. You know, they're very tactile to hold. I love the, you know, the massive journal cards like that. They just feel really good. And then this pocket here, we've got then some, not genuine vintage ephemera, some from my Victorian ephemera. I think this is from set 4, I think. Yeah, and it's printed onto normal copy paper and then coffee dyed, so it feels lovely, I have to say. Very vintage feeling. There is a pocket in the top, but I haven't actually put anything in there. You've then got some stamped corners, again more of that stamped bits, and some just heat embossed, you know, with the embossing glaze of the vintage book page. Then here we've just got some lace trim going down the side and a little postage stamp. And then here another one of those vintage label kind of stamps, which I've done and then glued onto the page. Again, that's in that same label set of stamps. Some lace trim here. This gorgeous pocket from some, you know, Collage Masterboard, the original. And then this here, another one of those big journal cards. So loving the big journal cards in here, loads and loads of them. So there's loads of big journal cards, loads of vintage ephemera, lots of journaling space. Yeah, nice and roomy. So here we've got this gorgeous envelope pocket. Now this lace trim, it's not glued down here. It's not that it's fallen apart, you know, here. I didn't glue it right the way down because I thought it was rather nice kind of just flapping around a little bit. So you've got an envelope pocket there. I think, yeah, there's a pocket in the side as well. I haven't used it, but you could tuck something in here as well. So you'd have that and also at the top. This is a genuine vintage image from one of those, I think it's the, oh gosh, the Illustrated London News, one of those newspapers. So yeah, from, oh gosh, like 1901 or something like that. So genuine vintage ephemera there. This is one of my header pieces. Again, it's been printed on just copy paper and coffee dyed. Feels very authentic, I have to say. So that just tucks in to the top. Got some stamped corners on this envelope, very pretty. And then here, this is some more paper bag. Now, again, this is empty, this pocket. I've left it empty because it's quite delicate. It is this paper bag, and I did not want to obviously tear it, putting things in and out of here. You can put things in there. It's quite a big, roomy pocket. I personally, you know, felt it was quite fragile and didn't really want to kind of risk putting things in, but you could do. Some vintage wine label on there and some lace trim and some more of that brown paper ruffle. And then going over, so this is obviously the paper bag. This one I did not leave empty on purpose. It is just an oversight on my part. So let me just grab something to put in there. Oh my goodness. Just grabbed a vintage photograph printable. Again, this white on the back, it would need to be coffee dyed or painted if you like that look. But just so you've got something in that pocket. So that goes into there. And don't you just love that paper bag? Oh my goodness. I love it. The stamping on here is taken from that dragonfly stamp. So yeah, I just stamped around on the paper bag with some of the backgroundy bit from the dragonfly stamp. And isn't that just gorgeous? And then you've got some vintage wine label on here. A couple of my number tabs. And then lace down the edge. And then here, this again is from the vintage wine labels. Oh my goodness, isn't it lovely? And then just secured just with this wax seal in the corner. Doesn't that just look such a yummy pocket? So as I say, it's a paper bag. Now we've popped that in there. And then under there, again, just another one of those little flippy pieces. Ah, right, no, I've forgotten what I'd done with this. So this is more brown paper bag. And what I did was I kind of formed a little opening bit so you can journal on all of that. And then on the front cover, I've also attached a few things, you know, just for decoration really. It doesn't need a paper clip or anything. It's holding flat, and obviously this goes over it as well. So, you know, it's all kind of fine. And then finally, we've got this gorgeous kind of variety of things on the back cover. So this is the inside back page. And what we've got is we've got some internal envelope here, which has got a pocket at the top and a pocket in the side. And it's glued down onto this page. So it's almost like another page in your journal. This is some vintage book page from, you know, a genuine vintage book. Got one of my street names there from my digis and some lace trim. And then this here, this is a large journal card, again, massive. Again, you know, this is just plain craft cards. So if you wanted to kind of, you know, dress them over it or something, you know, if you like that look, you know, that would be fine. I quite like the craft card, but, you know, kind of up to you. And then this is, again, genuine vintage book page. A lovely stamped image there, and one of my bows there from my printables. So that just goes there. And then when you open it, you've got journaling space on this side. You've got another image from a vintage book there. And then tucked in here, this also is some genuine vintage ephemera. This is, oh no, sorry, this is not genuine vintage ephemera. It really felt vintage. This is a printable. I'm so sorry about that. Printable. Yeah, it feels very vintage, and it's just one of my vintage invoice pieces. And yeah, it's just folded up in the style of a kind of self-tucking pocket like that. Okay, so that just tucks into there. And then you've just got some lace trim and a little flower there, satin flower. And then on here, you've just got some more of that internal envelope, so you could journal on there. And that again is that dragonfly stamp onto the vintage book page. Little bit of scrappy lace at the top with a, you know, pearly buckle, just to sort of finish that off. But I love how that looks. It's such a pretty page, very interactive, lots of bits going on. So, yeah, so it's got a lot going on in that journal. And like I say, it's, you know, not only got quite a lot of journaling space, it's also got lots and lots of genuine vintage ephemera. So yeah, quite a kind of, yeah, quite a treat really, because, you know, don't always kind of have access to lots of vintagey things. So yeah, this is obviously, you know, it's going to be listed on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. Obviously, if it's already sold, you know, then it will be, the video will be marked sold. But I will try and obviously kind of coincide it with the video. I can't guarantee, obviously, you know, the timings, because my videos go up overnight when I'm asleep. So, yeah, anyway, I really hope that you like it. I hope you feel maybe inspired by seeing it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much then. Bye.